Hello, all. Welcome to Universal Group of Institutions, Bengaluru. Do you know that Indian MMR, that is maternal mortality ratio, is higher than even the poorest Arab countries like Algeria, Libya, or Tunisia, or Iraq, Iran, or even for a matter of a fact, our neighboring countries like Bhutan and Sri Lanka. In this particular video session, we are going to discuss about the very important measure or the program initiative launched by the government of India to reduce this maternal deaths. So, the first thing that we need to understand is what exactly is MMR. What exactly is MMR? Maternal mortality ratio. Can you see here very clearly? The maternal mortality ratio is defined as the number of maternal deaths during a given time period per 1 lakh live births. You need to remember this very clearly. It is about the 1 lakh live births. How many maternal deaths are happening during the same period? It depicts the risk of maternal death relative to the number of live births and essentially captures the risk of death from a maternal cause in a single pregnancy. So, it is estimated? The maternal deaths, the annual number of female deaths from any cause related to or aggravated by pregnancy or its management, excluding accidental or incidental causes during the pregnancy and childbirth or within 42 days of termination of the pregnancy. Remember the time period, that is within the 42 days of the termination of a pregnancy, irrespective of duration and the site of pregnancy, that is expressed per 1 lakh live births. So this is about the maternal mortality ratio. If you look at the the India's performance in the last 20 years itself, the in India the maternal mortality rate has declined from 389 to 103. So we have seen a tremendous progress with regard to declining the deaths associated with the pregnancy. So in this particular video's lecture, we are discussing a very important government initiative launched to reduce this maternal deaths, called as the Pradhana Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. So which ministry is overlooking or overseeing the implementation of this program? That is the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Ministry of Women and Child Development is overseeing the implementation of this scheme. So first one, what are the goals, objectives? The first important goal happens to be promoting maternal and child health, that is improving the health and reducing the malnutrition. Next, compensation for the wage loss. Whatever financial loss that has been incurred during the pregnancy, that loss will be compensated by extending a financial package to the pregnant women. Third one, encouraging the institutional delivery. If the delivery happens in the institution, that means if there is any complications associated with the pregnancy, that complications can be resolved very easily, and the health of a child and a mother can be ensured. Protection. Okay. Next one, nutrition and a diet. The right set of food diet that is being provided to the pregnant women and lactating women, we ensure the health of both mother and a child. It is also meant to create the awareness on the health and nutrition associated with the pregnant women, and it ensures the child immunization, that is the early child immunization, which is again going to reduce infant mortality rate as well as the child mortality rate as well. So what are the features of this program which are very important from the examination point of view? Under this scheme, monetary benefit of 5,000 is given to the expecting mothers from a time of the initial stage of a pregnancy till the child is born. So what is the financial package that is given here? That is the 5,000. Next, additionally, apart from this, 1,000 is provided under the Janani Suraksha Yojana post institutional delivery. The 5,000 is the five. This 5,000 is provided in the three installment. First installment at the time of a registration, 1,000 is paid. Second installment, that is 2,000, is paid at the time of completing 6 months of a pregnancy and receiving at least one antenatal checkup. Then only the amount will be given. Third one and the final installment, that is the 2,000, is received after the birth and a registration of a birth of such child under the child, and the child has to receive the set of a vaccine. There is the BCG, hepatitis B. Again, as I said very clearly, these are meant to reduce the child mortality. The other important features associated with the scheme are: the scheme is to provide the maternity benefits to women belonging to socially and economically disadvantaged sections of the society, because all this happens under the NFSA, there is the National Food Security Act itself. So the maternity benefit is provided to women for the first two living children, provided the second child is a girl. That means the maximum how many children covered, that is here happens to be the two, provided that the second child is the girl. Okay, that is again to improve the sex ratio. Next, the in cases of miscarriage and stillbirths are treated as a fresh cases for providing the maternity benefit under the scheme. So as I said very clearly, I mean in 2022, even though the program was launched in the year 2017, we see certain changes that are being brought under this Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. Under PMVY, that is 1.0, Aadhaar was only mandatory for a third installment. That means 3,000 is paid. For the additional 2,000 only, the Aadhaar was made mandatory. Now, in 2022, when the program was revamped, Aadhaar is mandatory now. Only one level of check at sanctioning, I mean during the sanctioning of a money. Now compulsory Aadhaar based payments are happening. That is to reduce the instances of corruption, as well as to identify the right set of a beneficiary, as well as two level checks for each functionality to ensure the validity and authenticity of the information. Same here now. Earlier, which is very important from the examination point of view, no provision for a second child, even though the child happens to be the girl. Now the benefit will be disbursed in a two installment for a first living child, and in a single installment for a second child if the child is a girl. Remember very clearly. So what is the significance of this Matru Vandana scheme? First one happens to be the institutional change, because you are encouraging more and more women to deliver at an institution, so that you reduce that MMR and the IMR. Next one, mental health improvement, but by intervention through the nutrition and the health, you reduce the maternal mortality rate, because antenatal checkups are happening. If there is any pregnancy complication, that can be resolved at the early stage. Addressing the socio-economic inequalities, that is by providing the financial support, by providing the free checkups for the pregnant women, you are ensuring that the mother and child both survive. Financial incentive, that is the 5,000 plus 1,000 is being given. Wage loss support, that is support for the SDG, especially the Sustainable Development Goal 3. If you look at the SDG target, we are we are supposed to reduce this maternal mortality rate to 70 or below the 70, which is currently at the 103. By 2030, India is supposed to achieve this SDG of 70, which is again very important from examination point of view. Child health and nutrition, as I said very clearly, immunization is ensured, nutrition is also being ensured. Next one, what is some of the problems that are associated with this particular scheme. The first one happens to be the second birth restriction. See, this monetary benefit that is being given, can you see a very clear monetary benefit only for a first live birth? Subsequent pregnancies are deprived of maternal and child health. I mean, this happens to be the second birth restriction that is only for the male. As I said very clearly, if it is a female, the money will be given. Lengthy documentation, multiple documentation, since Aadhaar being made mandatory, even we see there are certain cases where Aadhaar is, people are not having the Aadhaar. Implementation gaps, that is the delay in fund disbursement and poor coordination among the different agencies involved in the implementation of this particular scheme. Weak monitoring and evaluation, because we see that, I mean, rightful beneficiaries are still excluded from this particular scheme. Even though the people who are not rightful beneficiaries, they are enjoying the benefits out of this scheme. Low awareness, I mean, if you just look at on an average, just 58% of the rural women are happens to be the part of this particular program. That means people are not aware of this particular program. I mean, considering the financial package is only 5,000, this happens to be the very small monetary gain. So again, one more problem. And there are also coverage issues, as I said very clearly. The manner in which the program is being implemented, or the beneficiaries are being selected, we see that the program is unable to cover majority of the population. So these are some of the problems associated with this particular program. That's it in this video session. Thank you.